lesson, we're going to be going off of page 597, section 10.4, part B, and we're going to be doing number 7. So first I'm going to read you guys the question. Part A says, Mr. Alberto wanted to count the score on a term paper as 60% of a final grade, homework as 25% of the grade, and the final exam as the remainder of the grade. A student in the class made 85% on the term paper, had a 78 average on homework, and scored 90 on the final exam. What number could Mr. Alberto use to determine the student's grade if he used his grading scheme? So first we're just going to kind of write down what we know. So first we know that they want 60% of the final grade to be the term paper. So 60% equals term paper. And then we know that 25% of the final grade is the homework. So then 25% equals homework. And then they didn't actually tell us what the final exam was going to be or what percentage of the final grade the final exam is. So now what we do is we know that for a percentage, it all has to equal to 100. So if we have 60 and 25, that means that the remainder has to be 15%. So the final exam is going to be 15%. 15% equals final exam. And then we were also given that, so the person that we're going to be working with from Mr. Alberto's class, we know that he got an 85% on the term paper. So this is what we know. There's an 85%. And then we know that the person got a 78% on the homework. 78%. And a 90% on the final exam. And now we want to know what the final grade would be. So in order to do this, we're going to take, these numbers are known as the weight. So that's kind of just how much of an effect this percentage has on the total grade. So these are the weight. And then these are the actual score. So this is the value that the student actually got. So in order to find the student's grade, what we do is we take the weight and the value that corresponds with that weight, we multiply those and add them all together. So we're going to take 0.6 times 0.85 because this is all the term paper, so they correspond. And then we're going to add that plus the 2 that correspond for the homework. So that would be 0.25 times 0.78. And then now we add the ones that correspond for the final exam. So then we have 0.15 times 0.9. And then when we end up multiplying and adding them all together, we end up getting 0.84. So 0.84, which then equals an 84% for the student. And that was part A. So now for part B, it says write an algebraic expression to generalize the scoring procedure for Mr. Alberto's class to allow him to use any percentages he likes for the scoring scheme. Clearly describe what the variables represent. So now for part B, over here, we know that the percentages have to always add up to 100. So we know percentage has to equal 100%. Equal 100. So now we know that so first let's look at the equation. So if we kind of put this into like an algebraic expression, the 0.85 we're going to use for the term paper. So we're going to use a variable as P for what the student actually got. And then for the homework, we're going to use H for that variable. And then for the final exam, we're going to use F for that variable. So the algebraic expression that Mr. Alberto used for his class, bless you, student, was 0.6 P plus 0.25 H plus 0.15f. And 0.6, 0.25, and 0.15 are just the coefficients. So now, if we want to just make any algebraic expression, we could change the coefficients just as long as they all equal up to 100. So if we wanted the term paper to be worth 50% and the homework to be worth 30%, then once again they just have to equal 100. So then the final exam could then be worth 20%, and then once again we're just changing the coefficients. So then now the algebraic expression that Mr. Alberto would use would just be 0.5p plus 0.3h plus 0.2f. And these are just kind of examples as to how you can use coefficients plus variables to find algebraic expressions to find the final grade with different categories to add into it.